1959, Fidel Castro took power in Cuba. The United States was not impressed. Washington looked at Castro and thought, absolutely not. Castro had overthrown Batista, nationalized American businesses, and started becoming friendly with the Soviet Union. So the CIA came up with a solution. Train Cuban exiles. Give them weapons. Give them aircraft. Send them back to Cuba. Let them overthrow Castro. And then insist that America had nothing to do with it. Apparently, revolutions could now be ordered in advance. The plan was based on one very optimistic assumption. The Cuban population would see the invading force and immediately rise up against Castro. The revolutionaries would land. The people would join them. Castro would panic, and everyone would go home before lunch. This was not exactly a detailed plan. It was more like a list of things the CIA hoped would happen.
The force was called Brigade 2506. Around 1,400 Cuban exiles were trained in Guatemala. They received military training, weapons, ships, aircraft, and enough confidence to believe that somebody had checked the plan. The original landing site was near the city of Trinidad. But Trinidad was too close to a real city. It had roads. It had people. It had the uncomfortable possibility that somebody might notice an invasion. So the landing site was changed to the Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs was remote, swampy, difficult to reach, and surrounded by terrain that seemed personally offended by military planning. Before the invasion, the CIA organized airstrikes against Cuban airfields. The goal was to destroy Castro's air force. The first airstrikes failed to destroy Castro's entire air force, which was unfortunate because the invasion was still going ahead. A second airstrike was planned. President Kennedy canceled it. He wanted to support the invasion without making it look like the United States was supporting the invasion. This created a small diplomatic problem. The operation was secret, mainly in the administrative sense. Everyone knew who had planned it. Everyone knew who would train the soldiers. Everyone knew where the weapons had come from. But officially, America was simply standing nearby, looking innocent.
On 17 April 1961, Brigade 2506 landed at the Bay of Pigs. They were expecting the Cuban people to rise up. The Cuban people did not rise up. They did not come running with flags. They did not form a revolutionary parade. They mostly continued not joining the invasion. Castro's army, however, did arrive, and it arrived with considerably more enthusiasm. The Cuban government had already learned about the invasion. Castro's forces surrounded the landing area and began attacking the brigade. The invaders had weapons, they had training, they had ships, they had aircraft. What they did not have was a successful plan for what happened after landing. The roads were terrible. The terrain was difficult. The promised popular uprising never appeared. The surviving Cuban Air Force attacked the invasion fleet. The American government refused to provide full military support. And the invasion force gradually discovered that courage is useful, but it does not replace air cover. Everyone wanted the benefits of war without the inconvenient part where people noticed the war. Within 3 days, the invasion had collapsed. More than 1,000 members of Brigade 2506 were captured.
Many others were killed. Castro remained in power. The United States had failed to overthrow him, and the operation that was supposed to weaken Castro made him stronger. Castro presented the invasion as proof that America wanted to destroy Cuba. The Soviet Union increased its support for Cuba. Cuba moved even closer to Moscow. And 1 year later, the world came dangerously close to nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So the Bay of Pigs invasion achieved almost the exact opposite of its intended purpose. It did not remove Castro. It did not trigger a popular uprising. It did not remain secret. And it
did not improve relations between the United States and Cuba.
But it did teach an important lesson. If your plan depends on the enemy population joining you, the enemy air force disappearing, the president staying calm, and the terrain becoming convenient, you may want to prepare a second plan, or perhaps a first plan. The Bay of Pigs was supposed to be the beginning of the end for Fidel Castro. Instead, it became the beginning of a much larger Cold War crisis. If your secret invasion requires an army, bombers, ships, aircraft, and 1,400 soldiers, it may no longer be a secret.